Dutch is my mother tongue, and I'm excited to teach you a tiny little bit. Keep in mind that I am not a professional, I am just a girl in the world. But if you want to properly learn the language, you would have to check out the sponsor of today's video. This video is very conveniently sponsored by Babbel. Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world, and fun fact, Babbel, bubble, is a Dutch word, and I'll tell you what it means at the end of this video, so stay tuned. I love language learning. I don't know how often I've talked about that before, but I'm currently learning Norwegian because we're planning on going there. I don't know if my health will allow it, but the plan is to go there soon. It's on the top of my travel list. We have Norwegian friends, and it's so fun to be able to communicate with them and to understand the language more. I spent a long time learning French as well through apps to talk to my aunt and my cousins and to just generally improve my own language learning skills. I think that it's a great way to learn and play a game on your phone essentially without doom scrolling or stuff like that, you know. Babbel's lessons are designed by actual language teachers, and you can really tell when you're having the conversations that it's so realistic, and I really like that. They even have this kind of text format, and it feels like you're texting a foreign friend, and you learn so much so quickly. They even offer live classes, which is so helpful, and you get 2 free live lessons if you get a subscription. They have a 20-day money-back guarantee, and they have a wide variety of subscriptions, and even one for life. Be sure to check the link in the description box to get 60% off your subscription. And here's me flexing my Norwegian skills for a bit.
Hvordan går det?
Takk, bare bra.
Takk, bare bra.
I think that this is the perfect time to start language learning, especially if you want a New Year's resolution or get into it more. It's a great way to set up now for it to be a habit in January. I'm going to be continuing working on my Norwegian, and I'll report back to you when I get further along. I would love to make a Norwegian video at some point, but that might be a while. It is funny though, because my mom took an actual language course in Norwegian, and she knows a lot more than me, but I did very quickly start to understand things that she was saying, which I think is a very, very good sign that I'm definitely learning. So, tusen takk, dankjewel, Babbel, for sponsoring this video, and I hope you'll enjoy my version of a Dutch lesson. Okay, so let's get into it. I made you something. I want to say before we start, I studied to be an English teacher a while ago. I only took 1 year. But I learned a lot about English phonetics, which is pronunciation, and phonetics is the way that things are spelled closest to how they are pronounced, if that makes sense. And I thought it was so fascinating. But to now dive into language learning, but go the other way around, was very strange. I did ask ChatGPT to help me out a little bit, so yeah. Anyway, I got a little bit creative and excited, and I made you guys this. It's a big sheet, and I thought that before we start, it would be interesting to look at some pronunciation tips. This is going to be a video where I am mostly in the corner over here looking at this, but I hope that's okay. I adjusted the mic a little bit so that when I'm looking around you can still hear me properly, I hope. So, an example of phonetics is this spelling right here. This is spill tea in English phonetics. it's kind of oh, so like a father. Our letter E is the of the A, but it's in words it's usually bed. I feel like my head is that's okay. I mean, you guys asked for it, so we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do it my way, you know. Then we have the Y, which is I in Dutch, and it's used like in the word sit. I. Ik is me, for example, which is confusing for me because ikke in Norwegian is not. So it's very similar in very different ways. Anyway, the O is often pronounced as O. But here, the example was note O. Also applicable. Sometimes it's O, sometimes it's O. If it's O, it's usually two O's next to each other. Same as A, it'll be ah with multiple A's. Two at the moment. And then the U is usually this ChatGPT said something like the French U and the German U. I don't know to what extent that is accurate. You'd have to look it up. But urgent is urgent, so it's like Then we have consonants. I think that this is what we're most known for within the language realm to non-English speakers, and that is that our G and our CH are guttural sounds, kind of like the Scottish loch. But our you already heard me doing it. Our G is ch, and our CH is also ch. Sometimes it depends on the word. Like I said, I'm not a Dutch teacher, so can't really say much about that. But for example, the word good in Dutch is goed, so it's ch. And I think that the best way to teach you how to pronounce that is if you want to get something from the back of your throat and spit it out. You know, I know that's gross, but it's kind of like a ch. I feel it on the top back of my throat. But there's a Dutch accent in the south of the Netherlands, and the G has a soft pronunciation, so it's kind of like how do you I don't know if you can see what I'm doing with my tongue. The middle of my tongue is hitting the roof of my mouth. Hire me as your tutor. Okay. And then we have the R. Rolling in the back of the throat. This really depends. Some people do it, some people don't. But I have a rolling R, so I would say rennen, 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 which is to run. So yeah, that's our R. And our W is more forward. It's more of a lip sound. So when you say where, we would say var, var, kind of like the V. Var, var, var. It's more of a lip sound than the where, which feels like more of a mouth sound. Damn, I'm gonna look back at this in editing and be like, oh, you're talking such nonsense. And then we have diphthongs. Is that how you say that? I don't know. It's the AU is a very common one, and it's pronounced similar to the OU in house. Ow. Ow is also what we say when we're hurt, and in English that is spelled as OW. Ow. But for us that's AU. Ow. Then we have EY, which is I. also literally the word egg, but it's also the EY. I is, pronounced like bye, but not with much of emphasis on the I on the A sound in bye. To me, bye has kind of an A sound, but it's more of an E sound. I. And then we have EU, which is O. What is this similar to? I have no clue. That rhymed. I don't know what EU is similar to. O is in the word leuk. And leuk is fun. Leuk. The EU is also in my name, which is Fleur. But as you can hear, it has a slightly different tone to it. Fleur is more and this is more It's difficult. I'm going through this rather quickly because it's not as important, but I did want to just put it out here for anyone who, especially those of you who are planning to move to the Netherlands or are planning to visit or have family. I get a lot of requests to do this from you guys, and I think that this is more useful to those who are actually going to be spelling and like using it very frequently. It's useful for everyone who really wants to learn, but if you're here just to learn a few fun phrases, then the next bit is for you. I is vague as well. I have no idea how to explain it, but this is literally the word onion. So we have eggs and onions. I and I. I is used in the word uit, which is out, buiten, outside. I is how we pronounce it. I don't know if there's a similar thing in English. Anyway, here are two important notes. The stress is usually on the first syllable of the word. So outside, buiten, and it's not buiten, it's buiten. So it's on the first syllable of the word. Buiten is outside. And generally our intonation is quite straightforward. But you'll have to be the judge of that. Let's get into some words, okay? It's very much giving elementary school teacher, but let's do some basic greetings, okay? First thing that's important is that the Dutch love compound words, so we will combine any set of two words and make it one, and you'll see. So, the first one is hello. As you can see, the only difference in spelling is that instead of an E, we have an A. But you learned in the first bit that the A is pronounced like A in father, which means that hello is hello. Hello, 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 hello. We also, as a greeting, say hoi, 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 hey, hey, hi, hi, and hoi with longer O's. Really depends on where you're from, what the situation is, how well you know each other. Hello is mostly in writing and in somewhat more formal settings, more business. I usually stick to these, and if I say hello to a close friend, I'm being sarcastic. Like, hello. We don't really say that. Within my friend group, it's not hello. Anyway. Good morning. Good morning. exciting. Okay, let's continue. Next up, we've got goodbye, 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 which is tot ziens, tot ziens, tot ziens. Kind of like toad, but without the E. Tot ziens, ziens, ziens. But that is more the formal thing to say. It's not very formal, but I wouldn't say that to acquaintances or people that I actually know or hung out with. I'll say doei, of dag, or I'll say in English bye. English is very much seeping into our language, so that's really nice. So we often say thanks, like in English, or bye. The internet. So goodbye is tot ziens, tot ziens, tot ziens. Then we have please, 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 which is a long word. Als je blieft. Alsjeblieft, alsjeblieft, alsjeblieft. So it's alsjeblieft, but if you say it faster, it becomes alsjeblieft. The L becomes a little bit silent, but that might just be me or a regional thing. So we have tot ziens, which is goodbye, of doei, doei doei. We also say that. And please, alsjeblieft, alsjeblieft, alsjeblieft. Can you subscribe, alsjeblieft? I mean, and then we have a big one. At least I find it a very big one, an important one. Thank you. Thank you. Dankjewel. 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 You can say it with me. Dankjewel. Dankjewel. Good job. If it's in a more informal setting, once again, you'll kind of leave the well out and it's just dankje. Dankje. Like when someone gives you a compliment, you say dankje. But you also say dankjewel. It just depends on the vibe. And then maybe we should have started with these. I don't know, but yes is ja. Yes is ja. Ja. I put it here like this, ja, because I think it's most similar. You can also say ja, squeen, stay. Depends. Depends. It's all acceptable. And then we have no, which is nee. Nee, 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 nee. Ja and nee. Ja and nee. Do you want to go outside today? Ja of nee? Dankjewel. 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 Alsjeblieft. 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 Tot ziens. Doei. Those are the words of this page. Then we have a holiday special, obviously, because it is December. I mean, not as I'm filming this, but time. Happy holidays. Happy holidays is fijne feestdagen. Fijn is the word for nice, kind of. So we say fijne feestdagen, which is is also sometimes pronounced as je. So you is also je of jou. That depends. Here I wrote down ik is I. Jij of u is you informal. U is you formal. Wij is us. Wij is us. They or them is zij. Zij of hen. They or them is zij of hen. Jullie is you, plural. You, plural is jullie. En hij is he or him. He or him. En zij is she or her. Zij. But ik hou van jou. Ik hou van jou. Ik hou van jou. Ik hou van jou. Jou is jij. Okay. Then let's just get into some fun words. So there is this YouTube channel, Bart de Pauw, and Bart de Pauw does language courses, and it's really fun because he interviews his students on language, and he has an episode where they talk about Dutch compound words, and I think it's so funny because as a Dutch person, it's very logical that those words exist, but I wrote a few down. And also just some funny words, so a little heads up, some words that look like sexual words. We'll do those first, and then we'll look at the compound words, which I think are just funny. Here's the next sheet. Here are the funny words. Fucken, fokkerij, kunt, sexy, burger, tikkie. Tikkie is a way for us to send payment requests. It's an app, but it's also when you play tag and you tag someone, you say tikkie. So it's kind of like tag, tikkie. I think it's a very fun trigger word, and it's also like tikkie, which is Spanish, right? For something. Or is that Tivi? I don't know. Me being ignorant. Anyway. So it's like tag, you're it, is tikkie. But it's also a way to send a payment request. Then we have burger. But for us, burger is a hamburger, but it's also the word for citizen. I am a Dutch citizen. Ik ben Nederlandse burger. I'm a burger. Which I think is funny. Then we have sexy. And sexy is section. So a location, a section, an area is sexy. Then we have kunt. Kunt is you can. If it's in the you form, so you can, jij kunt. But it sounds like a different word in English. It's giving kunt. Sorry. Then we have vakken and fokkerij. Vakken is subjects, and also vakken is like maybe a compartment or a shelf is sometimes referred to as a vak. Not really though. Vakken is more like a school subject. So Dutch would be a school subject. It's a vak. And this is plural, vakken. Multiple subjects. Which is fascinating. And then we have a fokkerij. And that is where they breed animals, etc. Well, what else than animals? But I don't know if there's a is clock house, but it is the inside of an apple. Translated. The actual meaning of the word is the inside of an apple, but it's a clock house. Then we have huisdieren, which is home animals. Now what would you think that word means? Home animals. It's the word for pets. House animals, home animals. Goes both ways. Huis is both house and home. Handschoen, is a glove, but it's a hand shoe. A hand shoe is een handschoen. Then we have bospaddenstoel. Now this means wild mushroom, but it's made up of 3 different words. Bos is forest, and paddenstoel is mushroom, so it would be forest mushroom. But paddenstoel is also made up of 2 different words. Padden is toad, and stoel is chair, so it's a toad chair is a mushroom. It's a forest toad chair, if you were to translate it, so that's confusing to English people, I can assume. And then another very literal one, stofzuiger. Stofzuiger is a vacuum cleaner, but it translates to dust sucker. It sucks up the dust, so it's a dust sucker. Een stofzuiger. Then we have boterham. Boterham, which is a sandwich, but boter is butter and ham is ham. Ham is ham, so it's butter ham. Do you want a butter ham? Wil je een boterham? I don't know how to. We're gonna skip the next few. Maybe I'll do another lesson soon and we can get into those more. This was just a few basics to give you a feel of the language, maybe, and a little introductory course, so you can say goedemorgen in the comments or goedenavond, depending on where you are, of course. And I can say dankjewel at the end of my videos. Maybe I should implement more Dutch in my videos in general, I don't know. But I promised you that I would tell you what the word babbel means in Dutch, because it is a Dutch word and it's bubble. And to bubble, babbelen, is to chit chat, to small talk is babbelen. So bubble is the I form of the word. So ik babbel, ik babbel, I chit chat. And I think that that's really funny because they are a company that really focuses on real life conversations, and oftentimes that is just chit chat, and that's babbelen. So I think that the name is very, very fitting for what it is. So I wanted to say a thank you to Bubble Chit Chat for sponsoring the video. I want to thank you very much for watching. Be sure to check the description box and to get 60% off on your subscription. And let me know what language you want to learn. If you're gonna learn Dutch or Norwegian like me, or French or any other language that they offer. I just really love learning languages and learning new words and things. So yeah,